All right, so for Rise and Shine this morning, you're going to need your foam roller as usual and a mini band. If you also have a longer, like a PT kind of band, that will work as well. For one of our moves, that might feel better for you if you have a very tight band or a tougher band, which is fine. If you have multiple bands, just get them all out. So then you're ready for anything, and then we can get started. We're actually going to start on the ground with our foam rollers, rolling our calves. So that's first things first. Let's get onto the ground, roll our calves. Good morning, Cam. I think Cam's here. At least there's a square that says it. So come on out, join me here. All right, so we've got our foam roller. There she is. Hi, Cam. Hi, Liz. All right, so with our rollers, I'm just going to give us 90 seconds for each calf. So I know we're not starting with good posture. You don't have to do that yet. Yay, just sit on the ground. You can be in slumpy posture, it doesn't matter. Just working on your calves. 30 seconds. I'm going to give you 3 times 30 seconds instead of thinking of it as 90 seconds. So you can imagine 3 different parts of your calf. You know, for me, that's sort of inner, the back, and then the outer side, but it can be bottom, middle, top, whatever it is, whatever spots it might be that you just spend two of those 30 seconds on one spot and then move on. It doesn't matter, but feel what spots are feeling tight, and then let's focus there. That was our first 30 seconds of me just talking about how I'm going to tell you every 30 seconds. So funny about that one. All right, so we are into our next 30 seconds, and I am welcoming Sarah here in class, back from racing yesterday. There's a race out at Stubb Stewart Park, so she was out there racing. Yes, and that's our second 30 seconds. So 30 more seconds on this calf before we switch. I saw someone, Sarah, who was out at the race with you, and I asked, how was the event? Because it's a race company I have not done a race with. And she said the aid stations were kind of weird. She's like, I'm like, what did they have? She's like, whiskey. And I was like, anything else? Anyway, she made it sound like some of the aid stations or spots had whiskey, goldfish crackers, and one other thing. And I was like, it sounds like the people drank the whiskey, then decided what food to have, and then put on the aid station. So anyway, I'm guessing there was more as well, but it was the way Paula told the story. And hopefully you had more to drink than whiskey. Probably brought your own things. So anyway, it was a hot day out there for just drinking that. We've got 5 more seconds on this side. So finish with just getting whatever spot feels like, and then let's go ahead and switch it up, switch sides. All right, nicely done. All right, so this weekend I also had a super fun fastest known time. One of my female athletes set a fastest known time. For anyone who knows the Bay Area, it's going from basically Stinson Beach up to the top of Mount Tam, and then across the Richmond Bridge, across basically the East Bay to the top of Mount Diablo. So that was a cool one. 30 seconds down. It was only about 40 minutes off of the men's existing time. There's no women's time. So that was cool. I love when people tackle these longer fastest known times that have no women's times. We do not need to have that. Keep going. So anyway, very cool to see that one. I was super excited for her. All right, that is 1 minute down. So we've got 30 seconds to go, 30 more seconds. That route it was a mix of trail and road. So I imagine there were some parts that were not very fun. Getting on and off the bridges in the Bay Area is not really meant for pedestrians. So that must have been a little bit special, but anyway. All right, we've got 10 more seconds. After we do our calf rolls here, we are going to move to our hips. So that means we'll come onto our front, and we're just going to do 1 minute per side. So everyone go ahead and join me. Grab whatever side you want to start on, and we'll do 1 minute on each side, and then we are going to get into our mobility. I mean, this is part of it, of course, but getting in some good movements. After being cleared to run, the podiatrist said, basically, you have to stretch your calves every day, multiple times a day for the rest of your life. And so I make fun of how physical therapy sometimes is called PT infinity, how the physical therapist is like, you need to do this exercise, 8 times a day for the rest of your life, which is why people have a hard time complying. That's 30 seconds because sometimes the amount you have to do is just tough. Anyway, so here I am with lifetime PT for my calves, which is something I know and should do, but getting serious now. All right, we've got 10 more seconds on this side. So if you're avoiding a spot, here you go. The last 10 seconds, don't avoid it. Lean in, breathe in, 3, 2, all right, go for the other side. And the other side might not have the exact same hot spots as the other, and that's cool, that's fine. Just see if you can find some spots that are feeling like it's effective using the foam roller. If you have spots that it doesn't feel like the foam roller does anything or doesn't feel good to you, then skip it, right? Do another spot. We've got limited time. Foam rolling is not our primary sport, so that's 30 seconds down. If foam rolling was your primary sport, that's great. You can spend more time doing it. This is not ours. So why spend so much time, right? Go where it's effective, skip it when it's not. The end. All right, so we've got 10 more seconds here. Then we're gonna put our foam rollers aside and get into a frog squat position. So we'll stay down low in 3, 2, all right. Go ahead and get your foam roller to the side. So frog squat is go get your hands down on the ground. We're just going to be here. So this is one of those good calf stretching positions, right? Because when we're in this position, we also get a groin stretch, but we're trying to get our heels down towards the ground. So everyone just go ahead and get into this position in a way that's comfortable for you. So some people just sitting in this position isn't very comfortable, but moving through it is fine. We're going to hold this here for another 10 seconds before we have a change in foot position. So hang out, just trying to see if you can get just relaxed into that position. Maybe your heels come down, 1 more millimeter. That's great. Deep breath. All right, take your left foot and stick it out. So now we've got one foot sort of either facing forward or kind of on that diagonal, and the other foot's facing out. And now let's just go ahead and put the weight onto that toe and back. So we're still in this frog squat position, but we're modifying it a little by focusing on one side at a time. So now we've got that left side, it's facing out, coming over and back. Good. All right. And now let's go for it. Other side. So take that right foot, stick it out, and then that knee comes over the right foot. So you can see I'm not moving very much. Just trying to get in some movement through that ankle, calf. All right, you might be sick of being in this squatting down position. So let's change it up to a long lunge here. So this low lunge will be here. Go ahead and get your hands just over your foot. Your chest is over your knee. Nice and long. 2 breaths, and then we're going to switch to the other side. So then same thing, we get into that nice long position. If you need to have your knee down, if that's more comfortable, that's fine. Getting stretched through our hip, and then 2 deep breaths. All right, switch back again. So go back to that low lunge. Now let's get in a twist. Twist it up, breathe in. Come back down. Other side. And back to that twist again. You can have that back knee down, totally fine. If that feels better, that is just fine. Good. Now come on back, both feet back, get into a good plank. Now, once you're in this good plank position, I want you to ensure you're in a good plank. So we're holding a plank, your feet are hip width apart, neck is long, ears are not anywhere near your shoulders. You're pushing the ground away. Your glutes, tighten them up, see if you can, then you're in a good position. Now let's take our left arm, raise it up. Watch with your eyes, follow your eyes, follow your hand, come back down. Let's do the other side, right side. If you need to have your feet wider, that's fine. All right, keep on this twist at your own pace. We're gonna do 20 more seconds of this twist at your pace. Make sure you're breathing, just getting in a big motion. Your eyes follow your hands. All right. And in, good. We're gonna do in 5 seconds, we're gonna push up into a down dog. 3, 2, go ahead and push it back. And then just hang out in whatever form of down dog it feels good to you. But I want you to think about pushing your chest towards your knees. So chest goes towards your knees. Your eyes are looking at your knees as well. And see if you can get your head through your hands a little bit. That just gets you pushed back. If you want to have your knees bent, that's fine. If you want to pump your legs, moving side to side, that's fine too. Think about getting a stretch through your armpits and lift up your hips. All right, and 3, 2, widen your stance a little bit and walk your hands back. Now you're in this forward fold with a wide stance. Come on up, roll it up, keep that wide stance. All right, now we've got a time for a good posture at the top. We're going to keep this wide stance and do some hinges. So now we're in this wide stance, shoulders are back. Let's come on down for a hinge. You should be able to get your fingers down if your feet are wide enough. Fingers should come down, or maybe your whole hand comes down to the ground and then back up. Nice long back. And one more time, hinge it down. As you come down, I want you to think about not just bringing your hands down, but pulling your hips back. As you push your hips back, you should feel like you get a good stretch behind your body. That's good. All right, feel stretch through your armpits too, and come on back up. Good. All right, join me for some back lunges. We're going to just alternate sides. I'm going to come down into a back lunge, twist to both sides, anchoring that knee, and then to the other side. Good. So we're working on getting some movement through our thoracic spine here as we anchor and hold ourselves stable through the bottom. All right. Good back mobility is important for all of us. We spend a lot of time in bad back position, so let's keep going here. All right. Just a couple more. Woo. Got to get my balance. Balance is not awake yet. All right, and one more on each side. So here's one. And here's 2. All right, alternating lotus. So now this is our real balance test. So come on into this ankle over knee position, and then let's come down nice and slowly and just see if we can get down as far as we can, going really slow. Then once you're in the lowest possible position, hang out, see if you can get any lower. We've got 5 more seconds. And other side. We're going to do each side twice. Come on down nice and slow. Give your foot time to anchor you down and really hold that position. Nice and strong. Good. 5 seconds. 3, 2, yes. Okay, one more time. So same thing, nice and slow. Feel your whole foot. You're not on your heel, not on your toe or the ball of your foot. You have your weight even. All right, 5-second hold. 3, 2, nicely done. And other side. Here we go. Good. Come on down nice and slow. Maybe it's a little lower than last time. That's great. And 5-second hold. 3, 2, 1. Very good. All right. What do I have here? Last thing is underneath. Let's pick up our band. Last thing, pick up the band, and we are going to use it in our hands. We didn't spend a lot of time in our good posture, so I want to take a minute here. I'm going to stand in this good posture, which means our glutes are tight, so that means no arch in our low back. I want you to get your band just in front of you. It should be sort of in front of your chest, so if you can't see me, it's too high. And if it's down here, it's too low, so you've got it here. We're just gonna pull apart and come back together. Good. So some of you might be pulling about 1 inch, and that's okay. Some of you are pulling more, that's great. Whatever your band allows for. If you've got tubing, you can use that too. I have that nearby. So you can get a little more range of motion if that feels good. But you're basically just coming out. You should feel like, all right, you're back. But while you do that, everything stays tight from here to here, right? That is not moving. Your glutes are tight. You are anchored in place. Feel your arches. How are they doing? Are they collapsed down or are they active? So your big toes down on the ground. Arches are up. Feeling like you've got super healthy feet. Even if you don't exactly feel like that at the moment, why don't you just say it? Let's conjure it. All right. 10 more seconds. Good. And 3, 2, nicely done. Okay, so we've got a balance set today. One of the things, I don't know if we've done these before or exactly like this, but the other one is we've done a bunch. So pay attention to this first one. So we're going to do a single leg hinge. I know you guys know about that one, but to make it harder, so I'm going to show you the hardest thing first and then how to modify it. So I'm going to put this band or tubing around my big toe. The big toe is what anchors us in this position. So having the band around this toe will make it so I have to push down with this big toe, but also throws me off balance. So for some of you, this might be impossible. So I have it around my big toe, I'm going to come into this balance position, and then I'm coming up. As I pull up, it's trying to pull up my big toe. My big toe is like, and then I come back down and up using that. So if you need to have tubing, that's better. Now, for some of you, you might just say, well, that's fun, but I can't do it at all. So you can put the band around your foot. Try that, because then you just are adding some difficulty to the move without really throwing yourself off balance. And if for you, just doing a single leg hinge and coming up is difficult to balance, then forget the band totally. Then the second thing we're going to do is put the bands around our ankles, and we're going to just do some kickbacks, because those are effective and easy to get the form right. So let's start out, whatever side you want, get that band around your foot, around your toe, or no band at all. We're going to have our opposite hand is what holds the band. Let's go for it. So you're coming down and up, and you're trying to keep that big toe down. So let's see what's going on out there. This one should feel like a challenge. It's totally fine to have your stone face, super concentration face, but you could also sort of smile that you're doing it. I see a lot of like more concentration than I expected at this time in the morning. Okay. Thanks for making me laugh, everyone. Good smiles. All right. So keep this going for 5 more seconds. Then we get to switch sides and see how our other side does. Good. All right. So go ahead, switch, get your other toe all wrapped up, or your foot, or don't band, that's fine too. Opposite hand and foot, let's go for it. So we put our band in the opposite hand because we want to try and keep the hip down on the other side. So if we use the hand on the same side, that sort of doesn't encourage our hip to stay down. Awesome. Well, I don't see anyone falling over, so that is good news. You're either sticking to the comfort zone or you're doing, I can see lots of bands though happening. So this is good. Nice, Sarah. Keep it up. Keep it up. Yes. All right. Maybe not fair to ask Sarah to do all these balances after racing, but no problem. Look at that. Love it. And 3, 2, nicely done. All right. So keep the band and just put it on your ankles, around your ankles. So we are going to do a side kick and a glute med kick. So that's the diagonal. So that means we're going to just side and diagonal back and just keep that going for one side for 30 seconds, then the other side. So everyone get up nice and tall. Ready? Here we go. Side kick, diagonal, and back. That is all, we're working all of this area. Diagonal and back. Good. If your band is too easy, keep it back for a pause, or you can just pause, or you can stay out a little bit farther. Try not to let your band get completely saggy. We're trying to make sure we've got tension on the band the whole time. Good. 5 more seconds. And 3, 2, go right to the other side. So this side's going to be a little bit harder because we already were working the muscles a little bit from holding our stance. So if this feels a little bit harder, that's why. If you need to, you know, one finger on the wall because you're falling over, totally great. Good. This requires all of our foot to stay in good balance. All right, and just like that, 5 seconds to go. 3, 2, nicely done. All right, so take this off. We're gonna go through that one more time, trying to get in that move with our big toe. All right, hopefully this feels like a challenge for you guys. I'm seeing really good movement, nice and slow. I see people come looking down, so I think it's going well out there. All right, I can't see exactly where the band is on everyone. Let's go for it. Good. So hopefully you feel like you really have to push down with that big toe, which helps anchor you. But as you come down, that band is sort of making the big toe do some work, which is awkward. So it's throwing you off balance a little bit. Hopefully for those of you who have these down, no problem. This is a little bit harder. Wendy, I know you love these the most, so you're welcome for making them harder. I know. She's doing this like, yay sign, I think, with her hand. Okay, other side. All right. Yeah, Wendy was telling me how much she loves these. No matter how many times we do them, she just can't get enough of it. All right, let's keep going. Good. You gotta love the things that are sometimes hard, even when you practice them a lot, right? All right. Good work, everyone. These are definitely a challenge for me. I think I need to add these to my routine. The mini bands are such a good tool. All right, 10 more seconds. Yes, the last 5 seconds. See if you can get in 2 really good reps, and then go ahead and put that band around your ankle. Don't have to do that again today. All right. So we're back in our good posture. We've got our bands here. Once you've got your band on, you do not need to be looking down. You're looking out. Let's go for it. So side kick, diagonal kick. Good. Good. If you are going much faster than me, potentially that means your band is too heavy, and so it makes you just want to go bing, bing, bing. We don't want to do that. So if you don't have a lighter band, that's fine. Just go a little bit less, so you don't have to whack yourself back. If you're hitting your ankles to each other, you know it's too tough. There's no reason to rush through this. We cannot make 30 seconds go by faster. 5 seconds to go. And then we're going to go right into the other side. Go ahead, right into it. All right. Good. So after this, we're going to get back down on the ground and we're going to roll our glutes and definitely our glute med. All right. Ten seconds. Keep this rolling, keep this going. All right, and 3, 2, nicely done. Well done, everyone. All right, we are gonna get ourselves onto the ground. I want you getting onto your butt one cheek at a time and start really on the side. So let's start with the glute med. That's sort of the less exciting part, or less fun, or less comfortable. So let's start there, and then we can end with the more meaty part of our glute. So everyone go ahead and get into that position. We're gonna spend 30 seconds here, so you should be sort of on your butt, but turn to the side. Nicely done. All right. So as we turn to the side, you should feel this sort of through the whole side of your butt. You can get to a spot that feels like it needs it and pin and stretch. So that's when you sort of push all your weight down, and then you can move that leg through if that feels good. You can shear, so that's that side to side, or rolling up and down. Whatever feels good is what you should be doing. Does not matter. If this really doesn't feel great, make sure you've got both hands and have less weight on the foam roller and give it some time. If it hurts, you are not helping yourself. All right, keep on breathing through. Telling your body everything's cool here. And all right, so that was about 45 seconds. We got 45 more seconds. So if you want to stay where you are, great. You can put your foot up into that figure 4 position. That sort of makes it way harder for me to do on my glute meads. But if you want to get into your glute proper, glute max, the biggest muscle we've got, go for that. All right. Don't worry about low back. We'll get that later. Just sticking with the glute. All right. Good work, everyone. And 5 more seconds, and we're going to switch sides. All right, go for it. Switch sides, switch sides. All right. This weekend, after having to be off for a little bit because of my foot, I went back to Olympic lifting, because you sort of have to pop up onto your toes for that one. I also went on a long for me bike ride with Maria. So now I can't tell what is keeping me so tight. It's both of them probably. I am tight. My shoulders are like, wait, what is happening? I was both putting weight over my head and hanging on to the handlebars for too long. All right. Not too long. The appropriate amount of time. Thank you, Maria. All right. Hopefully this feels like you are getting some change, or just at least bringing some blood flow to this glute med. And this was about 40 seconds. So if you want to switch for these last 45 seconds, go for it. Anything that feels good on your glutes. I want that. I want you doing that. Our big muscles need big care, right? All right. Also, if you feel like, man, a spot that's tough for you is like where your glutes and hamstrings sort of come together underneath what you think of as your butt, then foam roll around there. We've got about 10 seconds left. And then we are going to do a sequence, a walkout sequence. So I'll show it to you before you try it yourself. All right. Actually, if you want to stay foam rolling, if you can see your screen well, then you can do that. You can pick a new spot, but I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So we're going to do this sequence from a walkout. So we're going to walk out, and then we're going to get into that plank, do 3 things, walk it back up. So this part of our workout, it's just one thing. We walk out. So you know this one. So you walk out well, come into a good plank. Then I want you to come up with one side, squeeze in that glute lift, and then the other side, squeeze in the glute lift. Then hip hurdle on one side. Notice my back is still, hip hurdle on the other side. Then the third thing is I'm going to take one leg, come under, open up my chest, and push up with the hip, back down. Open up the chest, push up with the hip, and then walk it back up. Now, you might think, that is impossible for me. If you try it, and in fact it is, then you can skip that and do whichever part works for you. But let's do the first one together. So I'll walk us through it, and then the rest of them you'll do on your own. So come on down, forward fold, get your fingers walking out, nice slow walk out into a good plank. Neck is long, push the ground away. Now right leg comes up, we squeeze, glute, squeeze it. All right. Left side, squeeze our glute, up, squeeze, and come down. Now right side hip hurdle, and then left side hip hurdle. Now take our right leg, bring it under our body, and left arm comes up. We open up through the chest, push up our left hip, come back under, good plank. Try it again on the other side. So left leg comes under, right arm comes up. We push our right arm and right hip up and come back to our plank and walk it back up. Woo! All right, I'll walk us through this second one again, just so we're on doing it, then I'll set you free. All right, come on back down. And again, if you can't do any of it, doesn't matter. Either hold the plank, walk it out, everybody. You can hold the plank or do something else or just skip it. All right, so we're in that good plank. Let's lift our right leg, squeeze glute and down. Left leg, squeeze that glute and down. Right leg, hip hurdle. Left leg, hip hurdle. Now right leg comes under our body. Left arm comes up, lift. Other side. You can modify this to a plank with a twist if you want, and push it back. All right, your turn without me, 2 more. So I'm gonna give you about 45 seconds. That should give you enough time to do about 2 more. Let's see it, everybody. All right. Walkouts look good. Yes, Em's got the glute lift. Sarah's got the glute lift. Good. All right, Maria's out, and I see the hip hurdles. Nice balance. Good. That twist under. Wendy's got it. Brian's got it. Amy's got it. Oh, and Aaron's got it. Looking good. All right. That was 1 for almost everyone. So go ahead. Second one. Underestimated how long they take. So I'm just giving everyone time for this second one. This is really forcing us to use basically just about every muscle in our body. So yay! We have to work all the muscles, but also get into these mobile positions. That foot under position is definitely a tougher one. But those of you who are doing it are looking good. Yeah, Aaron, good. All right. And once you're up to the top, you are done. All right. Nicely done. So grab a drink. We are going to go on to our posture core set. So for our core set, we're going to use our bands. First things first is we're going to do dead bugs with banded arms. So our dead bug is when we have our knees up, hands up, and how we're going to do the banded arms are just like you would think. So our arms will come back just as normal, but they're banded. So you will get in a little more upper body with said posture, right? So that's that one. Then the second thing you're going to do is put that band onto your feet. And we are going to put tension onto the band and then side to side with obliques. So we're trying to keep our shoulders on the ground and tip our knees down while we keep our feet here, so not here. Then the third thing we're going to do is come into a plank. That bands are still on our feet, so then we step out side to side and our feet are banded. Cool? All right, so first things first. All right, Sarah's all ready. Get in that dead bug position, banded arms. Let's do it. Yes, Marie's got it. All right, so we're banded arms. So you're trying to bring your arms back. So the arm that's really doing the work is the one that's not moving, right? Because that one you're pulling. I mean, both are really doing the work, but really think about the working arm being the still one. All right, good. I see knees that are directly up to the ceiling, not towards your chest. I love that. That's what we're looking for. That's what makes it harder. If it's too hard for you, you can stop with your knees not directly up to the ceiling, but closer into your towards your chest. It will make it easier. To make it harder, your feet are towards the ground a little bit more. So do what works for you. We have 5 more seconds. And then you're gonna take your band and put it on your feet. In 3, 2, go ahead, band up your feet. All right, and now we're in a position where your feet are have tension on that band. So that means your knees are not together, your feet are not together. Go ahead, anchor your shoulders, and let's go ahead and get knees coming down to one side and then down to the other. Remember, the band stays with tension. So that's going to be the tough part. It's easier to do these when your knees are together. So if you are doing these and feel like, wow, I'm just rolling around on the ground like a crazy person and I do not have any, this is not working my abs, you can put your knees together, feet together, see if that feels better. And that's great. Although, man, you guys are looking good doing this, so I'm not going to worry about it. Keep this going. You got 10 more seconds, and then we're going to turn over to that plank. Well done. 3, 2, good. Switch into that plank. Your band is in the right spot. So these are like a plank jack. So our legs are going to come out into that jack position just one at a time. So everyone go ahead. The bigger your steps out, obviously, the more you're working those, the legs on this one, but also the more you're challenging your plank. So your backs should be still. The timer is going. Your back should be really still. Your legs move, but your neck does not, your head does not, your shoulders do not. Hips are steady. Obviously, there's some movement coming from there because that's where your legs are attached. So can't say still hips, but totally top of your body, really zen, chilled, not moving. Bottom part, stepping out. Nice. Okay, keep this up for 10 more seconds. If it starts getting hard, just hold the plank, stop with the leg movement, that's fine. 5 more seconds. And relax. Well done. Okay, that's not an easy set because we go right from one to the other to the other. So give yourself a second. We're going to get back into position with the band on our hands so we can start that dead bug sequence again. So we'll do that one more time. And then we'll celebrate by rolling out all the things we haven't yet. All right, so in that dead bug position, everybody, first things first, let's get our back nice and onto the ground. We've got our no arch in our back, rib cage is pointed down. Let's go for it. Good. So the band on your hands, you should be feeling this all through your upper body, trying to keep yourself still, but also pushing that arm back. So shoulders to your back. Really depends on your band. Some of you maybe aren't using the band because it's too tight or maybe too loose, so it feels kind of silly. What's the point? I see most of you are using the band. That's perfect. We're often just going legs here. We don't need to do that. All right, and 5, 4, 3, 2, go ahead and get that band onto your feet. So we stay in the same position, but before we start, I want us to reset our posture. So our band is on our feet, so go ahead and set that tension. So now if you were just sitting here, this is something you couldn't hold all day, but you could hold for a long time. Knees directly up, back is on the floor. Let's go. Good, come on up. All right, if your knees aren't getting totally touching the floor, that's fine. I want you to be keeping your back comfortable, trying to keep your shoulders on the ground and really feeling like your sides have to do the work. Now, again, you're also having to keep that tension on the band. So 15 more seconds. This one is not easy. There's a lot to think about. Full body. Good work. All right, and 5 seconds left. Good. All right, everyone go ahead, get into your plank. Get into your plank position. We are finishing with this plank. In 3, 2, All right, here we go. So it's 45 seconds. It's a long time to hold the plank, especially after you've been doing what you have been doing. So if you are feeling like, oh, then great, that means we're working. Sorry if your cats are scared of that sound that you're making, but keep this going. Even if you just hold the plank, you can stop with the legs, or you can take a break. There's 20 seconds to go, so you can put your knees down, breathe, collect yourself, and then come back up. We've got 15 more seconds, so finish the 15 seconds with us if you can. Good work. After this, we get to flop onto our back. Good. 3, 2, nicely done. All right. Well done, everyone. Before we do our back, actually, I liked finishing there. Let's just get into our hamstrings. We really didn't do that. So let's just do a little hamstring roll here, one side at a time. Nice job on that set. That was sort of a long one. All right. So hamstrings can be whatever works for you. If you have a lacrosse ball or something that is smaller that you prefer to use, this would be a good time to have that there. For me, I don't roll my hamstrings very much. I'm guilty. Don't do it very much. I don't know why. Maybe because I've not had issues there. So that's the worst idea, right? If you're like, that never hurts, so I'm never going to do it. Not great. So glad we're doing it now together. For me, this side to side feels really good, but that up and down might feel good on you. Do what feels good. All right, we've got 10 more seconds, then we're going to go to the other side. It's like an express. It's like a hamstring express. All right, go on to the other side. Then we're going to do quads, and then we'll finish with the back. Quads are tough, especially if you have a very, very hard foam roller. That can be not as fun. So if you do not want to roll your quads, or if they are feeling sore, maybe you race this weekend, for example, then you should feel free to just do a quad stretch instead. That might feel better on you than getting your quads mashed onto a hard foam roller. So up to you, but we will switch in 5 seconds. All right, go ahead and swap. So got our foam roller. And then I like to start with both quads on and really not putting too much weight. Getting the blood flowing first. Getting my mind used to, okay, this is a weird thing that maybe doesn't feel great, but we're safe here. Everything's fine. I don't think anyone's ever died foam rolling their calves. I could be wrong about that. I'm not sure where you looked that up. The Encyclopedia of Strange Deaths or something like that. I don't have that. I know there's the intranets, but you know. All right, so once you've got both legs and you feel like, oh, that's pretty good, you can decide this is good and I am not changing. That's fine. If you would like, switch it up and I'll give you 30 seconds 2 times so you can get each side. The other thing that you can do is that pin and stretch is really good for your quads. So you get to a spot and then just bend your knee. That might be too intense, especially if you have a very hard foam roller. So decide what works for you and just do it up. All right. And then go ahead and switch to the other side if you're doing one side at a time. If not, just keep on rolling both of those quads. All right, I'm working up a sweat, foam rolling my quads. I think that says something. Last night as I was going to bed, I was thinking I should have rolled my quads before I went to bed, but then I was on my pillow and I felt like I'm not getting up. All right. Good. Keep this going, and then we get to roll our backs. Now, go for it. Roll your back. So let's go ahead, start with our low back. However you want to do that, you can either have your whole body over the foam roller. That can be a little bit intense because that's kind of a big arch in your back, but if that feels good, go for it. Or you can sit it up. We're basically going from where our pants come up to wherever that is on our back, around there, getting one side at a time. it is super important right now in the workout to make sure you've got some really deep breaths, super calming breaths. This is the time when you want your body relaxed, feeling like no big deal. We got this. I'm cool. Okay, let's go ahead and transition. Start rolling up your back, just 1 inch at a time. Roll up. See if you can arch over that foam roller, get in a little side to side, and then next is rolling up. So you can, it's basically getting all the 3 different ways we can, I mean, there's probably more than 3 ways, but 3 main ways of foam rolling is that rolling up and down, that shearing motion, and pushing around that roller for more mobility. My exaggerated breathing is a reminder to you guys. Good. All right. So I'm working on my Tuesday email right now. And one of the things I'm going to be talking about is not giving into urgency culture. Anyway, something to think about on our Monday as we start our week. Sometimes we get emails and you feel like you need to respond right away, or even text messages. You're allowed to not respond immediately. You can take your time to think about it. You do not need to respond that second. Okay, maybe if it's, I don't know. If it's so urgent, probably wouldn't be an email. So anyway, use your time today. Do not feel like it's someone else's, but it is yours. And that is the end of my message, the end of our foam rolling. And I hope that everyone has a really great day. Say hi if you want.